Welcome to Stealth Pay, a confidential payroll protocol built on the Stellar blockchain. Now you can pay teams in stablecoins with salary amounts hidden on chain and still let employees prove income and let regulators audit everything live on the Stellar blockchain. This is the payroll contract. The salaries are hidden on chain. The proofs are real ultra-honk proofs generated in the browser and verified by Soroban verifier on chain. Run payroll on a public blockchain and you leak every salary to the entire world. Your competitors learn your engineering budget, your employees learn what everyone else earns, and the total wage bill is public forever. This is why payroll has not moved on chain. Because the most naive fix, full privacy, breaks the compliance, and we need both privacy and auditability. Now, who has this pain? The near-term buyers are teams already paying in stablecoins and crypto-native companies, DAOs, and cross-border contract platforms. The stakeholders are the employees who need to prove income and auditors and regulators who need assurance. All three are in the product. Our insight here is selective disclosure. The public sees ciphertext, like this transaction. The employee with the key can reveal and prove their own amount. The auditor with their view key can reconcile the total, and nobody trusts anybody, and every claim is a proof. So, the solution? The employer's browser generates a real confidential transfer proof for each employee. This is an ultra honk proof. On chain, we store commitments and a homomorphic total, never a clear text amount. Then each role uses its key to recover exactly what it is allowed to see and to prove it. Now let's move into the demo part. So here you can see that we have three roles. First we have employer, then employee, and then the third is the auditor. Employee can enter salaries, client side, generate a real confidential transfer proof, and let's see how we can do. So first of all, I need to connect with my Friday wallet. So here I can connect. I will be connecting my employer wallet. So here you can see the QLSI is the employer wallet, my Friday wallet, and I will now run a confidential payroll. So here, as you can see that this is a payroll account on Stellar. Now I will run via the wallet. So here you can see that it's generating an ultra honk proof and it's submitting a batch payout on Stellar. This is running locally on my browser. As you can see now, this is the transaction, so I have to confirm. And here you can see that it's running locally on my browser, and here I have paid one employee. The amounts stay hidden on chain. The batch payout transaction is recorded on chain on Stellar. Here you can see that this employee, which was Ada, received in epoch 1 this much amount. Now if you are an employee, you can prove the exact amount you were paid to a lender or auditor in zero knowledge bound to your address. Your salary never leaves the browser except inside the proof. So let me try to prove a salary. So here is an employee wallet where it's proving the salary and reveal nothing else. So epoch 0 and epoch 1 added to 300. Now I will be proving the salary. Here it's generating the ultra honk proof, and it's running locally in my browser. As you can see that it's like takes some seconds to generate proof, and then it submits the verified disclosure for the Soroban verifier contract, and it verifies that yes, my 300 USDC was true, and this is like the on-chain transaction that you can verify on the Stellar blockchain. And it takes a couple of seconds to load, and you can download the proof of income. Now let me try to submit like a false claim. So by this time it runs, this will also come. So here it will again generate the proof, and it will submit the proof to the Stellar, and here as you can see that the claim was false. My salary was on 500 USDC and the verifier rejected the mismatch claim. You can see even that one on the Stellar verifier. Here you can see that this is returned true, the 300 USDC, but the 500 returned like false. Here you can see that it returned like false. And now if you are an auditor, you can recompute the homomorphic payroll total from on-chain commitments and your view key, then verify it on-chain. So here as you can see that this is like a verify auditor, and it can reconcile the total and reveal no individual. So here you can see that this was like an on-chain payroll, and for public it can only view the ciphertext. Now let me try reconciling, and here you can see that this is decrypted via the view key, auditor only, and this is like the commit message, and here it's verifying the recomputed total on-chain. And here you can see that this is like again a transaction on the Stellar blockchain, and the total matches on chain was verified as true. Here you can see that is returned true. So this proves auditor reconciliations and real compliance. Now here is a standout feature to note, that verifying one confidential transfer per transaction does not scale. So we aggregate. Multiple transfer proofs are folded into a single constant size outer proof using recursion. That alone proof is verified on chain in a single transaction, and the same transaction applies the balance changes for the whole batch. One verify pays everyone. And hence, the cost of the on-chain verify stays roughly flat as the batch grows because it is always one proof. That is what makes confidential payroll practical rather than a toy. Now, the whole system in one sentence: the browser is the prover, a Soroban ultra-honk verifier is the on-chain check, and a selective disclosure is what lets each role see only what it should. Salaries never appear in clear text, the employer proves each payout, the employee proves income, the auditor reconciles the total, compliance fails closed on-chain, and recursion settles the batch in one transaction. Hidden salaries, provable income, regulated grade disclosure, real settlement, all on Stellar. For a deeper architecture, left side is the browser and it is private. Salaries feed, Noir sockets, and bb.js proves a real ultra-honk proof. What leaves the browser is commitments and ciphertext never an amount. The proof crosses to Stellar. The payroll contract records the run and checks on-chain that the sum of the per employee commitments equal the recorded total using homomorphic point addition, so the batch is provably consistent with zero amounts revealed. The confidential token holds the actual ultra-honk verifier and the compliance logic, frees external policy and the clawback. The employee side turns privacy into utility. A worker can prove the exact amount they were paid to a lender or tax office bound to their own address without exposing any colleague, and a false amount cannot be proven at all as you saw in the demo because the amount is bound by the commitment and honesty is enforced by math and not by policy. The other standout feature is the compliance that fails closed. So regulators do not accept privacy without control, so compliance is on-chain and it fails closed. A payout to a frozen account or a policy denied accounts fail on-chain with an exact error code. A compliance admin can claw back and a hidden amount from a frozen account to recovery without revealing the amount, and the auditor can always reconcile the total as you saw in the demo. Under the hood, circuits in Noir, proofs with Battenberg ultra-honk generated in the browser, and the Nethermind ultra-honk verifier running on Soroban. The employer authorizes payouts with Freighter Wallet. This is Stellar's newest confidential token direction used for real workflow. Everything is real on Stellar. The aggregated pay, the disclosure verify, the compliance failures, and the clawback each have a transaction you can open right now on Stellar as I showed in the demo. So why now? Stellar is investing in confidential tokens and Payroll is the most relatable confidential payments use case there is. We built it end-to-end, hidden salaries, provable income, on-chain compliance, confidential payroll that a real company and a real regulator could